Good morning or good afternoon, depending on where you are. Welcome to our presentation today on Do-It-Yourself Crisis Action Planning, presented by AMA Unified Communications Corporation and Microsoft Office 365. My name is Griffin Elder, and I will be moderating today's presentation. This session is designed to provide your company with a basic framework for jumpstarting your ongoing crisis planning activities. This session is being recorded and will be available on SlideShare. Our presenter today is Anita Mathis of AMA Unified Communications. I'll allow Anita to introduce herself.
Thank you so much, Griffin, for doing the moderation today. Oh my goodness, what slides? Okay. One moment and I will get to slide 2. There it is. Hi, everyone. My name is Anita Mathis, and I am the founder and chief technology advisor at AMA Unified Communications. What our company does is we help businesses with technology and facilitate training and supporting services to help with the business continuity and readiness planning. We consult with small businesses. I'm just reading straight from my bio. We consult with small businesses and independent professionals in the Southeast, and we do a lot of support virtually through online meetings such as this. So you get an opportunity to see what it's like when we work with our clients live here. My slide, my mouse is behaving peculiarly today, so I'm going to have to do things a little bit more manual, so please bear with me. Why do crisis planning? This is a question that many don't come out and give you the answer to, because as businesses, we are often involved in so many different activities primarily involved with meeting the needs of our clients, generating revenue, things of that nature. Crisis planning is a step or a task that must be accomplished while those other activities are taking place. So why take the time out to do crisis planning? Well, we have 3 basic reasons here that are important, and we feel we should use, or we encourage our clients to think about as they begin their crisis planning process. To begin with, crisis planning can significantly reduce the impact of interruptions to your business. Statistics abound that show that an interruption to a business that lasts over a few days can significantly hinder the capacity of the business to recover. For example, businesses along the shore in New Jersey struggling, many of those businesses will not be able to recover because of the interruptions. Now, some of those businesses are storefront places and cannot be rebuilt, and that's understandable why they can't continue. However, other businesses with a little bit of planning perhaps could have been able to operate in a different way at a different location and not go out of business. So therefore, our first reason is that crisis planning can help you to significantly reduce the impact of the interruptions to your business. Second of all, there's the issue of time and money. And most businesses today are very tight with their money. No one seems to have extra money to put on anything. So this makes the investment of time that we spend on is everything okay? Okay. That's a weird noise in the background. This makes the investment of time that we spend on planning for our business a good return on our investment. If we don't have the time, the money to pay a professional to plan for our business, then the time that we spend investing in our business is extremely valuable. And finally, by taking action on the information in today's presentation, your business will be demonstrating your responsibility to your employees, to your clients, and to your partners. So these are 3 reasons why you should do crisis planning. A crisis team, of course, should have leadership, just as the business must have good leadership. So what does a good crisis leader or crisis manager look like? Well, Dr. Robert Chandler gave us some insight of things to think about when we are deciding who is the best fit for the crisis manager. And I will read directly from his quote, and there will be a link to the document from which this was taken in the next slide. He says, during emergencies and crises, the demand on their skills is tremendous. Contingency management and disaster recovery typically involve functioning despite time constraints, high stress, inadequate decision frames, and the necessity to carefully complete critically important tasks far beyond the duties of day-to-day workplace task team leaders typically perform. It therefore should be obvious that the factors that make an employee or manager effective in routine task performance may or may not make for a good crisis manager or recovery team leader. So basically, Dr. Chandler is saying here, crisis management is different. The nature of crisis management is different from that of traditional management. And an individual who may function well in the day-to-day workplace roles may not be a good fit for a crisis team manager because of the constraints and the stress and the need to make decisions so quickly and based on sometimes such a small amount of information. So that is why it's very important for the team to identify the person who is the best fit for the position. And we like to state that just because an individual is the owner of a company doesn't mean that they are the best fit for the position of crisis manager. In our next slide, Dr. Chandler lists 14 traits of a good manager, of a good crisis manager, in his article, which is available on the FEMA.gov site, The Marks of a Leader. And included among these these 14 traits are 3 key traits that today's section will help the crisis manager better fulfill his or her responsibilities. The first thing Dr. Chandler mentioned is the need to be coordinated. Second, to have the ability to communicate, and number 5, and number 6, the ability to facilitate. Because crisis management planning is a team effort. Should not be an individual effort because no one person can foresee all the different scenarios or hazards that may need to be addressed. But the individual leading the team needs to be have a degree of coordination, the ability to communicate with the team and to get the team together to direct the work and to ensure that the work is done so that during the time of crisis, the plans will be executed as has been agreed upon. Moving to our next slide. So our question leaving from this slide is, who's the best fit? Our goal here today. I found this great quote from Bill Gates, and I think it's so appropriate as our sponsor, one of our sponsors is Microsoft. Bill Gates said, "I'm a great believer that any tool that enhances communication has profound effects in terms of how people can learn from each other and how they can achieve the kind of freedoms that they're interested in." So, communication and tools that can help with communications can allow for greater freedoms. And so our goal today is not merely to make crisis planning easier to coordinate, but to open up to you a new way of doing things which may allow you to achieve, or your company to achieve, greater flexibility. The tools that we'll be using in our example is are tools that you likely already have. Familiar Office tools. I'll be using Outlook 2010, Microsoft Office 2010, and Excel 2010. And then many of you may be familiar with Exchange. I'll be using another product that goes with them for Exchange Online as I do the demo of how we do communications for the meetings. And for collaboration purposes, we have SharePoint Online and Link Online, which is the link for Office Communications, which is the tool that we're using for our meeting today. And I will state here that Microsoft is our preferred software partner. Probably the most important slide in this presentation is slide number 8, the 10 steps to jumpstart crisis planning. This is the framework we provide to our potential clients, and we would recommend to you as well as you begin doing your crisis work in-house. First of all, there needs to be an evangelist, and an evangelist is someone who believes in the importance of crisis planning, someone who doesn't want the company to operate from such a reactive state all of the time, someone who sees the importance of being proactive. So the crisis evangelist, which is what we will refer to them as, this person may or may not be the owner, could be an employee within the company who just takes the initiative to start something because they see the need. This evangelist should determine who should be involved in this initial planning meeting. And from there, the evangelist, if it's not a management person, then perhaps they will have to work with them on this. But the evangelist will create an agenda for the meeting, and the agenda for the meeting, during the meeting, this initial kickstart meeting, the purpose of the crisis planning, or even this specific type or action or activity of crisis planning needs to be addressed. The purpose, the goals, the deadlines for completing it, and also we strongly recommend a reward for completing the crisis plan, because there needs to be some type of incentive to do the work, because it is work, and it's work that you're not going to see a result from. Hopefully you won't see an opportunity to come where you have to implement your crisis plan. So you want to reward yourself for completing the task and not wait to see the benefits after an event has occurred. Third, what we recommend is start with what you have. Most of our clients have, and most businesses today are using Microsoft products and have Outlook. So from right inside of Outlook, schedule your meeting. We're using Outlook, which is connected with our Microsoft Link communicator, which allows us to schedule a meeting quickly, even on the fly. So we're going to demonstrate how we can do that. So first, our evangelist determines who's going to be involved in the planning. Second, we're going to create an agenda for the meeting, and during this meeting, we're going to discuss purpose, goals, deadlines, and find a way to reward ourselves for completing it. Third, we're going to schedule the meeting from Outlook, right in Outlook, with the email, or schedule an online meeting with Link. Number 4, we're going to determine who's the best fit for the crisis manager, which is what we discussed previously in the slide where we referenced Dr. Chandler. And we recommend often, depending on the company's organization and titles, but the individual who serves as the operations manager is often a very good fit for this. Number 5, focusing on people first. We advise viewing the emergency response plan from ready.gov, that's available on ready.gov, and begin working on your emergency response plan first before even attacking the full business continuity planning, because you want to be able to protect your people and to make sure that if something happens, they can get out of the building safely, or they will be safe inside of the building. Number 6, we'll assign tasks to individuals on the team. Number 7, note and update issues on an issues log. We need to track our progress. Once it's completed, schedule drills where it's appropriate, because a plan is only as good as a tested plan. Meaning if the plan has not been tested, you don't know if it's going to really work. There are some areas where you may not choose to test, such as sheltering in place, but you want to make sure that the information is accessible when needed. Number 9, we want the crisis team to formally sign off and approve the plan. And then lastly, step number 10 is celebrate. Celebrate the hard work that you've done, because you've taken advantage of a good opportunity to protect your people and your clients and your future. So here's an example of just quickly how you get started. The evangelist says, okay, we need to get together and consider what we're going to do about possible incident. So right from within their Outlook window, which is a screen here that you are likely very familiar with, we will schedule a meeting. And on our screen, on our system here, you can see that we're set up to use Link Online. So I'm looking at messages. We use Link Online, so we will schedule a Link Online meeting. And in the second video, you see the second PowerPoint. You see the link meeting link, the actual link to the meeting comes up for the individuals who receive the emails to join the meeting at a future date. I would use this, I would send this out if we're going to have a meeting at a future date. Or, one moment. Okay. Or you can do a meeting now by clicking on that button. And when you do, you'll get a little pop-up there where you're actually starting a meeting, and you have the ability to add the other individuals or invite the other individuals who would be on your crisis team to join that meeting. This is an example of how you can share your desktop from inside of the link meeting and share documents. So when you schedule your meeting, and if you have your meeting in, for example, here in Link or whatever communications software you're using, having the ability to share information among the group all at one time and discussing it is very valuable. So here's an example of how we're able to share the desktop from inside of Link, which I'll demonstrate today. And there's an example of a document that was attached during this Link meeting and is accessible to all the participants of that meeting. Next, we're able to log into our Office 365 account, where we're going to be able to access our SharePoint document portal and our email through Exchange Online. So during the demonstration, you will see how simple it is to do that. Also up at the top, in case you didn't get a good clip of it, we have an image of the Microsoft Link client, which is our communications client, which allows us to know who is available, who is not available, and to get a lot of things done without having to make phone calls back and forth, emails back and forth. It's a real time saver. Also at the bottom, we know that our link is integrated with our Exchange email online. So when you add a contact into your Exchange account, they're going to be added as a contact in your Link client. So that makes communication very, very, very easy. Once inside of the SharePoint site, you'll notice on the SharePoint and Exchange Online Access site at the very bottom, you have links for the team site. This takes you to your SharePoint team site, your document portal. And this is an example of a very basic document and collaboration site that we've created for a company. On the top is their main site where they have their sales group, their accounting group, and pages set up for that. And within those sites, they can collaborate and share information. Also, the individuals who have access to sites have their own personal My Site page. So that's one thing. And then down at the very bottom, we have set aside a separate workspace for the crisis team to share information amongst themselves. And there are 3 documents down at the bottom. You can't see them right now very well, but when I go into the SharePoint site, it'll be a lot easier to see. But you can add your documents down at the bottom, and individuals, if they can access those documents based on their permissions, they can view them, they can update them, they can download them. Whatever rights or permissions you give them determines what they're able to do with those documents. Here we have the first page of a crisis action plan for one of our clients just starting. And here we're able to edit the plan using Office web apps. On our desktop, we use Microsoft Office, but you'll also have access to Microsoft Office web apps, even if an individual doesn't have that. And if they have the permissions to access information, they will be able to also download it or edit in the browser, which is what we're going to do once the individuals are working on their emergency response plan. They will be able to edit or update their sections in the browser for everyone to see without the need to have to save it, which is very good. And finally, we encourage tracking and updating on issues, because our goal here is to complete the activity. Our goal is to identify issues and to prioritize the issues and to get them resolved so that we can get the plan completed, because there's life and property at stake here. So getting it done is a major importance. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to share my desktop. And Griffin, I'd appreciate if you will let me know if I have done it. I'm going to my Microsoft page. Hold on. I'm going to the login page for Microsoft Online. And let me, current presenter will stop and will be shared. Presenter's content will stop. Okay. Share. Okay. And what you should be seeing during this demo is just how quickly we can do this. I don't know. Okay, it's not what I want. Give me 1 minute. Wow. What can you see, Griffin?
The original screen.
Okay, you can see the original screen. Okay, good. So now I'm going to click. Can you see my login for Microsoft Online? Yeah. Okay, good. All right. So now we're going to show you just how quickly it is to get started. We've set up a meeting. We've got 4 or 5 people who are going to be part of this meeting. Tasks have been assigned. Now we're just getting to the point where we are actually working on the documents, working on the plan, and getting it done. So here the operations manager is logging into the 365 SharePoint account. Okay. And there we have it. From this main screen, we can go to our email, our Outlook, online, and familiar look and feel, individuals that you add here in the contact list will show up in your link window, in your link client. They will be your contacts there. So you will be able to, they can see that I am here, that I am available. I can change my status. And when I change my status here, they'll see it. Moving to the team site, if the individual has been set up to have access to the team site, I want to do this. Zoom out. Yeah, wrong. Oh, sorry about this, y'all. My mouse is skipping. All right, view. I'd like this to be a little bit bigger. Zoom in, because I made it smaller. Okay, so here we have the team site set up here. Just a basic team site for the company. They have their different groups set up here, sales and accounting. They have their pages here. We're going to visit the crisis management team's page. You'll notice in the list, there's access to the calendar. So that's like your company's calendar. And clicking on our tasks, we can add task here and assign tasks to an individual on the team. So that would be something that we would recommend our crisis manager to do. So we move to our crisis management space. And here we have it, just a simple web space where we're able to post comments there. The individual can, or and the individual who made the post, their name comes up, so you can see when they had the issue or what have you. Notice down at the bottom, we have documents that are added. I have 3 documents loaded here, an issues log, we're going to take a look at that, crisis action plan, and the response plan. We recommended going to the response plan to work on that. And here's a document from ready.gov, some information here. So you may move this to just a regular Word document, or just type it into this window. If you type like here, it's going to, because the formatting is going to look kind of funny, because it's going to push stuff down on the bottom line, I think. Or can you? Wait a minute. Just give me 1 second. What do we do? Well, I can't do that because that's PDF. I can't edit a PDF. But we can edit. So you'd have to change that file into a Word document to actually edit it there. Or create a simplified document. We do this for our clients. We have forms that are set up for our clients. But here's an example of a document that's in a format that can be worked on. And it can also be edited in the browser. So for example, here we have the activation instructions. We have the team, their contact information. We have team responsibilities and tasks. So this is like a simple guide that you can use, a description of who's responsible for maintaining the crisis plan, and also the leadership approval. So let's go back. So individuals with access to the site have the ability to view, do their work, and update their progress on the site. I'll take a look at the issues log, because making a post about an issue is not sufficient. We need to formally note issues in the issues log. And I'm a little bit hoarse today. Sorry about that. All right, so here we have the issues log, where individuals will note the issue, the type, when it occurred, who discovered it, and the status and how it was resolved. We want to have all issues resolved by our deadline. And again, this can be edited by an individual who has access to make some type of changes in the browser. Okay. So this person has access to make changes in the browser. And let's go back. And you'll notice it says, where's the save button? In Excel web app, there is no save button because your workbook is saved automatically. So when issues are updated here, they're going to be saved automatically, which is really great. I love that. Okay, so basically that is all I have for the demo today. So let me try to get back here. Griffin, are there any questions that came in? Hopefully there we go. Okay.
No, I didn't see any questions. Is there anything else we need to cover in our presentation today, Anita?
I thought we had one question, or I saw one question. Let's see. Sure. One question. Okay, we got a question regarding someone who says they are not using Office 365. Is that a problem? Well, no, we recommend, of course, that you use whatever you have, work with whatever it is you have. It is, however, very important for you to make sure that the location where your documents are stored is safe, because there is issue of security, and you don't want to allow people to easily access your crisis plans without authority. So be sure that wherever you store your crisis action plans is a secure location. And yesterday, as a matter of fact, I was reading about Gmail, and in Gmail, they were an article, I think it was in Business Week, but it was stating how we know Google uses information from Gmail for marketing purposes. So they're digging into a lot of your personal stuff. So be very cautious with where you communicate about your crisis action plan and where you store your crisis action plan. Okay? And I think that's it. That's it. So that's all I have, Griffin.
Okay, great. Hopefully all our attendees and those who are listening to this on demand are able to use this information to better protect their business from future crises. I'd like to thank everyone who was able to attend today and encourage you to be on the lookout for future sessions on this topic. will conclude our meeting today. You may now disconnect.